Hi everyone, welcome to the 17th of November, Crypto Rubber Duck. Been a while since we did this, probably worth going back over what we originally thought. The big outcome of my last commentary was if you lose 111,000, you're in trouble. I think that was the first clearest warning sign, and it played around with that quite a lot and started trying to reclaim it over and over and over, but it couldn't hold it. Clearly something was going on around 113 as well, and so maybe that'd been a better commentary, but as we saw, repeated rejections from 114 just broke down eventually. And what's actually happened is once it started breaking down, it broke down with some speed. Fundamentally, right back into the old range. And you would expect it, having deviated now, if you look at the high time frame. Let's look at a cleaner chart. Let's look at a cleaner chart. You would expect it now, having deviated and then gone back in. What a aggressive retest, wasn't it? But that's all it was. Midpoint retest, gone. You would just expect it to go to the other side of the range. And pretty much did there in one quick move. A lot of people are struggling, and it's close. Fundamentally, we're almost at a point where you can buy anything around here, given this consolidation in between 94 and 97 starts to make a bit more sense. You can wait all the way down for 92, but I mean, fundamentally it could knife through and come back up. And there's a lot of support for this knife. I mean, all of these wicks that happened in December, Jan 2024, 2025, this entire downward fake out in April that went down to 75, but the 88 to 84 region, which was really strong in terms of resistance. So there's a little bit to play at, and all of that would look completely fine. From where I'm sitting, we're in an area where you can start to do business, but that business is conditioned on low time frame. So what's the take rate? BTC almost fully down move to old range low, and start to look at swing longs between 88k to 95k, and this starts to depend on your perspective at the end of the day. Personally, I need some low time frame support. The 12 hour is instructive. All these wicks up into 96 are just rejected. So I would need to see this to get interested. I'll pay a bit of a premium for that. On the low time frame, we can see that it's just not making any new highs and it's making new lows. We do, however, have div. So that's great. And then on the 12 hour, we have a lot of div, honestly. So from a div point of view, so from divergences showing up on 4 hour and 12 hour, which I would consider very important, especially the 12 hour. So I'm looking for longs, unless this is a historic breakdown and then you're just stuffed. We saw a bounce off the yearly open on Bitcoin, and I think that would have been a reasonable place to take a shot, because if you look back to the last run out, that's what turned into support before it ran all the way up to 112 the first time. But I think there's probably a bit of time. If it bounces a couple of times, I may take a stab. I'll take a stab if we get a higher high. So consolidation or a higher high. Otherwise, I'm just layered lower because I can take some pain if my entry's good. And 94, mid. I'd say mid. Let's look at S. I think F looks tragic. I've been watching this trend line forever. I don't trade off it, but it's just, for me, indicative of where we are in terms of lifestyle. You can use absolutely anything. You know, here's the MAs, and it's at the 200 MA on the daily, which, you know, is a spot. My problem with F is twofold. First, it's still in the old range. All it looked like it did is it diverged up, took liquidity over the top, and then just it's back in the range under 4K. And since that's happened, technically you're looking all the way down at the range bottom, which looks to me like 1900, which is grim. It's not even close to that, while BTC's already made the move. So structurally, I don't love where it is positionally. Yeah, you can talk about some support at 2700 and all of that, but if we look at all the times F has broken down, this first time it found support at 1800, stayed there a while. The second time it bounced randomly, and then it did not bounce at 1800 at all. The third time it had this one wick where it bounced off 2100 because of all of these things, so that's reasonable, but that didn't even last anything, and it broke down immediately and did not respect 1800 and did not respect anything. So my problem with F is in downtrends, supports appear weak or random. And that's just not a good basis. Uptrends, it benefits from the other side of that, in that supports are not strong. Resistances aren't that strong, so we can just push through. Having said that, if you are looking to get involved, you can take a stab off the Bitcoin chart, at which point I might as well just trade Bitcoin. But I know a lot of people are interested in like 27, 2800, 3000 round number. I am not so interested. Just have a look at what happened at the yearly open. Absolutely knife through. Just no respect, while Bitcoin respected it. And it's just another indication that F support is not TradFi, and it's just weak. I actually have orders layered around 2200 in case it does this kind of thing, but they are for a scalp. Honestly, moving down to 1800, 1900 makes some sense, but it's quite far from here. So first chance 2200, then 1800, or reclaims. If we start getting F into uptrends, then I'll get interested again. But yeah, it's not nice, it's not pretty, and it doesn't play well on downtrends. I would avoid. The other one I tend to look at, and I'm going to look at, is Sol. I'll quickly do Litecoin just because I think a lot of people believe it's strong. There's nothing strong about this chart. It is the weakest chart possible. Yeah, anything in crypto can run. Why would I even be interested? 59, I think you can bid, and you can look for a bid below the low. I know these things are very far, and we had a extinction level event back in October where, you know, matching engines failed, and so bids couldn't go in, and so, you know, maybe it's not a true test of support, but I don't believe it. I'm not getting involved here. and I'd recommend no one does. There's better coins. Millions. Literally. Sol. Sol clearly has institutional support. And most importantly, it's been consolidating since 2024. So it kicked off the bull run kind of. It did pretty much a 10x. Well, more than a 10x. The first run was a 10x. Yeah. And then it's just been consolidating ever since. Look, 264 is miles away from here. That's the range height. I think the range is so wide, you can just try and play the range. And that's probably worthwhile, just something like this. Literally to 0 gives you 1-1. I mean, that's going to have to be close. You get better than 1-1 playing it as a range. This is a log chart, so it looks a bit weird. But yeah, literally 0 as your stop gives you 1-1 on an intra-range trade. I think that is good. Greater than 1-1 on inter-range trade. This may be the time it finally breaks. I mean, it pumped up to a lower high at 247. The way down it did better than pretty much every other coin during the extinction level event on October. So, sorry, in November. Better, some strong support. So yeah, it could absolutely knife through 121. I know some people who are interested down here, and I know some people are interested here. Personally, I'm not sure you need to play it this tight. Layer twice. Put your half hour up front, and then put an extra 1.5 hour down here at 93, and you'll be happy. I'm loading this up with size, so I think 121 and 93. Yeah, we have support's been shown. It didn't die like everything else. It's still in a range and it may break down, so don't bet the house. But if this breaks out again, even if it doesn't break out and all it does is trade intra-range, even if all of it does is go and hit the mid-range, you're doing okay. It's just a great chart. Sol over F right now until F moves into some sort of uptrend. Those are the 3 charts I wanted to do. Let's look at some other fun stuff just to give some perspective. All right. So it's definitely a bid support world right now. As you can see, the bounces for Bitcoin came off buy walls twice. Same here on Binance, though I think that's less beneficial. However, the real concern is that's it. Where's the rest? Below here, 90k maybe. Typically, last buy walls are good buys because the void scares people, but support is strong. This is the last one, so bidding 94k on that basis makes sense. I think that trade's kind of come and gone though, and the fact we're still in the downtrend, I think you play it closer to the yearly open because that has repeatedly indicated strength. I'm going to have to run through the rest very quickly. Outflows. Massive outflows. People are exiting in a massive way. Sailor is not buying a lot, and his average is attackable. Both on BTC and ETH, we're seeing open interest roof up, which, I mean, which is problematic. This isn't a low interest section. This is look, both it's roofed up, it's back to the highs while we're 33% lower for ETH and like 20-25% lower for Bitcoin. So there's more squeezing that can happen. So OI squeezing, and don't get me wrong, I think that's double-sided squeezing because open interest rates are pretty mid in that they're neither up nor down. Let's just look at Sol quickly while I'm here. Yeah, and look at this comparison to Sol. It's heading down, and open interest is reset, completely reset. It's beautiful. So there's nowhere really to squeeze here. It's just a better chart. It'll have to be, spot selling or people over leveraging on the way down, which can always get unwound and will get unwound. So I kind of like it. I think Sol has some upside here. All right, crypto funding rates super quickly. You can see they're all pretty evened out. Bitcoin's a bit short heavy, but there's so much on both sides. It's just wild. And liquidations, there was a fair bit of liquidations over the weekend, over 500 million. Just wild. They really need to. When you look at this consolidation over the weekend, where are they getting liquidated? Which just goes to support the theory there is way too much interest, so bid extremes. Final point I wanted to mention is Saska Tequila. He's a Twitter guy. He's pretty good for my estimation at scalping, and he's just shown that he's in a loss since 2023. I don't think people on Twitter really know what they're doing. They're very good marketers, and anyone who follows them, I really just wish you didn't. But if you do, please take one view. Do not read 10 views. Right now, I'm seeing so many views across the board, and you need to hold on to one if you have any chance of making it. If you have 6 and you can trick yourself, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Anyway, that's all we have. This was a really helpful session for me too. See you soon, actually.